Good morning and welcome to my Tribulation 515 2011. Today is January 12th, 2012, 1/12/12. And here in San Jose, California, it's another beautiful sunny day at a perfect 66 degrees. Of course, we've been having 66-degree weather for like the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we're going to have it at least for another week, and then they're saying maybe by next week we're going to have some rain. Now, why have we had perfect 66-degree weather here? I don't know. And of course, we had an earthquake in Santa Cruz, I think it was 4 days ago, that was a 6.6 magnitude earthquake. But, you know, the world does continue to spiral downwards into chaos, despite the sun shining and the beautiful day. And I just got home from returning my videos, and I live in South San Jose, and I have to drive up Highway 87 to Highway 280, and my video store is kind of almost downtown. But anyway, when I was driving back home, driving south, coming down Highway 287, the police had the whole freeway shut off, and it cost me an extra hour of time. And even as I wound through town trying to get back to my condo, man, traffic was jammed from every single direction, and Freeway 85 was stopped, you know, cars for miles, and it was backed up into all the residential streets, and I was thinking, what the hell is going on? So I get home and I turn on the news, and what happened was there was a couple of bank robbers that robbed the Bank of America at Blossom Hill and Snell, which is about 2 miles from where I live. And in their escape, they got out onto Highway 85. The police caught them. They crashed. I think they shot one dude. And according to the news, they say they got a bomb in their car. So right now, I got about 10 helicopters flying overhead, and there's police cars everywhere, and you know, it's just your basic standard life. Not tribulation, that's just normal life, you know. So tribulation, you know, that's when something really crazy happens. Speaking of which, you know, they had what appears to be a really rare winter tornado in North Carolina. And even though it's rare, you know, as far as what's going on in the world in 2011, 2012 and beyond, extreme weather is not rare or, you know, out of the blue. And if people are awake and, you know, aware of what's going on, the extreme weather has been escalating for over a year. And it's everywhere, from Europe to Australia to, you know, California to the East Coast. You know, no matter where you look on the globe, you're either going to find violent storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, cyclones. And, you know, if it isn't raining, what you got is drought and famine. You know, Texas, Africa, Australia. So, you know, the world, as far as weather, nothing's going right. You know, like, it isn't helping our crops. It isn't helping people's lives with, you know, massive blackouts of electricity and getting your basic supplies, water, and food. And, you know, anybody that has half a brain on them, you probably should have an emergency preparedness kit this year, especially with the Mayan calendar running out in December. You know, without a doubt, big things are coming, earth-shaking stuff. And speaking of which, March 22nd looms. You know, it's possibly a solar alignment, and it's also a progression of the 188-day earthquake cycle that started back in 2010 on February 27th. I've been following the cycle, and it's pretty much been reliable. There's been big, huge earthquakes every 188 days, and March 22nd brings about another cycle completion. And 322, you know, 3 times 22 is 66. You know, does that mean anything? You know, I don't know. But, you know, the numbers all seem to be adding up to something. But there's a lot of people on YouTube and whatnot that are predicting huge earthquakes, you know, because the 9.0 in Fukushima happened on the 188-day cycle. And the one in Chile, the 9.0, happened on the 188-day cycle. So everybody is, you know, it's kind of like a countdown to, like, you know, is there going to be a huge earthquake and where? But that's nothing new, because if you've been following For the last 2 years, 2010, 2011, earthquakes, volcanoes, all that kind of stuff, and extreme weather has been escalating. And we got more volcanoes going off now around our globe than ever before. No matter where you look, you know, we got them in Germany, we got them in Russia, we got them in Chile, we got them in Australia, we got them in the Red Sea, we got them over in Spain, we got them up in Alaska, we got them over in Indonesia, we got them in Italy. You know, you name it. They got a volcano going off right now, and all of that is going to impact the global weather situation in 2012 specifically. And, you know, on the global level, we're still all marching towards the collapse of the global economy. You know, Europe, the rest of the world's in a mess, the United States in a mess. Nobody wants to, you know, use basic principles as far as running their money. You know, 2 + 2 = 4, and you can't spend money you don't have. You know, simple stuff like that. They're ignoring that, and what we get is a bunch of smoke and mirrors. What we get is a bunch of voodoo economics, and everybody's going more in debt, and they keep refinancing the debt and refinancing the debt and refinancing the debt. And the bottom line is, under that old corrupt system, you know, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and the unrest grows on a daily basis. So right now, there's nobody stepped up with a solution. You know, a solution is really on a grand scale. You're talking about, you know, having some kind of jubilee, forgiving people's debts, man, because that's the only way. You can't just forgive one person's debt. That's what everybody got pissed off about in America. It's like, oh, we bailed them out and we bailed them out, but you didn't bail me out. So, you know, the solution is, if debts are going to be forgiven, it's got to be across the board for everybody, and I don't see anybody really pushing that kind of a solution. So money is going to kind of become worthless as a new system comes in place, and, you know, currencies and values will be reestablished in a new system at a local level based on, you know, what the economy values, the people in that economy. At least that's my theory. And I'm thinking paper money is going to go by the wayside. So, you know, what you want to do is get all the coins you can get your hands on. You know, it doesn't have to be about gold and silver. Just, you know, maybe get coins, because coins will be the currency of the future. But globally, you know, North Korea is a mess. You know, after Kim Jong-il died, his retarded son, Kim Jong-un, took over, and this guy's a nutcase and worse than his father. You know, the reports on the news today is that they're going around throwing everybody in the gulag over there in North Korea because they didn't get down on their hands and knees and cry their hearts out when that bastard died. You know, but, you know, that's kind of like straight out of the Bible. You know, if you read Daniel Nebuchadnezzar, where he said everybody must bow down or they will be killed. You know, that's kind of what's going on in Korea. You know, if you don't view Kim Jong-il and now his retarded, you know, psycho son as God, basically, then you're headed to the gulag or worse, death. You know, Russia marches towards the elections. Putin's pulling out all stops to regain power. And the biggest thing that's front and center is the Middle East, the Israeli situation. You know, nobody's really dealing with that. You know, Obama and his administration, you know, they're clueless. And right now, you know, I think the one thing Obama does kind of want is maybe some kind of escalation in war with Iran. Both Iran and America are rattling sabers at each other, and it's all taking place in the Straits of Hormuz. And as of today, they're reporting that America is sending additional ships and support over there, and so is Iran. So things are escalating. They're not getting better, and, you know, I don't know what it all portends to, but, you know, right now I'm not comfortable where we stand as a country because we're not standing up, and, you know, it's not that we have to be the police of the world, but the world is a dangerous place, and if America doesn't stand up for what's right, then, you know, all is lost. You know, that's what it comes down to. You know, the Ron Paul methodology that, hey, you know, the world's all rainbows and four-leaf clovers, and we can just, you know, go about our business and everybody else goes about their business, will lead to disaster. You know, that's my opinion. So anyway, the tribulation continues. You know, I'm definitely on that earthquake watch for March 22nd. This Saturday is the game of all games in football. Last weekend we had Tim Tebow taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in what was an epic, unbelievable game that seemed to have some kind of divine intervention almost taking place, where he threw for 316 yards, he threw for an average of 31.6 yards, and the TV ratings for the fourth quarter were a 31.6 share of the Nelson ratings. And of course, Tebow is Mr. Jesus, and all through college he wore John 3:16, under his eyes, for God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son. And of course, I take it as a sign of the times, Tebow, because, everybody is either loving him or hating him, and that's kind of how things are breaking down now, And I think it's a sign of where we're at. But you know what? This Saturday, the Broncos and Tim Tebow take on my boys, the New England Patriots, and the best quarterback there ever was, Tom Brady. So I hate to say it, but I'm expecting Denver to go down. But they're saying this game is going to have a bigger attendance than the Super Bowl. And why is that? Something's going on here. Why is the whole world tuning into this game? And we know why. It's Tebow and what he stands for, So, anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. And even in the midst of all the chaos and the tribulation, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, the politics, the elections, the global collapse, working our asses off for a living and getting nowhere, we can take time out to watch football. Thank God for that. All right. God bless everybody. Keep the faith and keep on rocking.